There we go. I hope everyone's enjoying this. The weather is beautiful. We've been having some rain, but hey, it's good to have some sunshine and some rain. You need both. And so we are here we're here in the DMV. I'm not sure where you're at, but I hope wherever you're at, you're enjoying this wonderful day that the Lord has made. Don't forget, get your sword fresh, stay sore, stay fresh. Scan the QR code right here and help us liberate while you hydrate. Hmm? Everyone's talking about hydrating, but no one's talking about liberating. So we want to do both. We hydrate while we liberate and get those human traffic victims liberated from their state of bondage and slavery in whatever capacity that is. That is to them. Whatever is going on there, we don't know. But all we know is we have the ability to do something and to make change, and we're going to let that happen one individual at a time. And don't forget, Fava Reach right here. Oh, I'm doing this right now, guys. Oh my God. Fava Reach right here. Get it done. Donate to liberate. And that's where your funding goes to help us do everything we do, to help us do our FF26, to help us create all the programs that we're going to talk about in our FF26, and to help us create a legitimate system that can liberate these people, not just from bondage, but liberate their minds, their spirits, and their bodies into being everything God has called them to be, into being even greater than they thought they could be because of the value that God has placed in them. And so we want you to help us any way you can. We say we'll take $1, we'll take $1,000,000. Okay, we'll take whatever, we'll take whatever God is laying on your heart, because everything goes towards doing something. It is all needed, and we are intentional about making sure that lives are liberated. There's no reason, and that I think that's what resonates with me more than anything. There's no reason after the slave about we had the abolishment of the whole slave trade that was taking place for how many years? That whole thing was abolished, and equal rights have been given, and people are enjoying their lives. There's no reason for another type of slavery to rise up anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, with whatever the ethnicity is, it's just not necessary. It shouldn't even happen. And the fact that it's happening is the fact that scares me, because there was one saying that said, if you don't remember your history, you're going to repeat it. And that's what's going on. And it's in a weird form, because now it's just everybody having slaves. I mean, which happened back in the day. We don't want to, when you check the history of it, Black people had slaves too. It wasn't just white people having slaves. It just ended up that way. Yeah, but that wasn't what it was. And so even now we have everybody's having. I mean, this is not just a color thing. This is a human thing right now. And it's an epidemic all over the world. And little kids are getting caught up, and grown-ups are getting caught up. And it's a hot mess. And there is no reason for it to exist after what we went through, because we have been liberated, and we know all the things, the damage that happened because of that. But again, and we always keep pushing, it's not about the color of your skin. It's about the content of your character. And these things are not about, it's spiritual. It's the heart. And if we don't get that heart changed, I don't care how Black you are, how white you are, or in between you are, you're going to do something crazy, because you're going to be able to be used by the devil to bring harm to yourself and to others. And so that's why we take it upon ourselves to not just liberate them, but to get their minds through, to educate them, to give them opportunities, to help them get themselves up to be everything God has called them to be, to create CEOs out of them, to create entrepreneurs, to create all innovators. Everything is possible for these people. And we got to let them know it, and we got to help them do it. So that's what we're doing here. So every time you give to Fava Reach, go to our website, favorofagreatgod.com, or just scan the QR code. It will take you right there, and you'll see everything we're doing, and you'll be able to donate whatever you can. You can do it on a recurring basis, a one-time basis. You just do whatever God lays on your heart, so that we could do what God's called us, and you can partner with us. And we also have our Empowered Value subscription that you could apply to, where you'd be partnering with us and become the warrior with us and doing everything. And it's just for $19.99 a month. And that will give you free shipping, 10% off events like our FF26, which I'm about to talk about, or anything you purchase on the website. You get 10% off because of your partnership with us. So that's our way of helping you while you help us. So don't forget, there are all different ways you can purchase from our Fava Market. Proceeds go towards our human traffic victims, and everything with the logo Fava Reach on it, everything goes towards helping those human traffic victims. So everything we have here, our Fava a la carte, everything you see on our website, proceeds go towards helping us liberate others, because they deserve to be free. They deserve that because God gave them that right. And that's why we're there to help them. So help us as we do what God has called us to do here. on the Fava group. Okay. And now our FF26, where we get to luxuriate while we liberate. Oh my goodness. Luxuriate. I was just watching some people and they were doing, they had the same idea, but they weren't liberating. They were just luxuriating. Okay. So, and I saw, and so if we could go out there and we're going to the little island of Greece, and it's going to be a wonderful situation where we get to luxuriate with our monies. And while we're there, we're not just luxuriating, but we're working towards creating everything I've been talking about, a restoration economy, everything we have to help put something together. We have the framework put up already. We just want to get partners with us in it who can add to it, who give us more information, put their piece in it, and partner with us to do what God has called us to do and to help liberate these people. So we're going to be luxuriating, we're going to be working. It's not just going to be a situation where you just lay back and we're going to be doing some work and making sure when we leave there, we get some work done. And while we're creating the restoration economy, we'll also be able to get feedback for your business, for your situation, for whatever it is that your organization, whatever. We're going to be, the concept of it will also be able to help you to do what God has called you to do. So you'll not just be helping us, you'll be getting some good information, and we can put our monies together, put our minds together, and put our efforts together to make sure we leave there with a plan where we can put people in place to mentor people, to create CEOs, to give them the opportunities, to give them the jobs, to give them the educational opportunity, the therapy that they need. All these different things are necessary to help boost back that whole man, the mind, body, and spirit of these people, because they're going to need a whole rejuvenation of a whole different level, because they've been drugged up, they've been lied to, they've been told that they can't be anything, nobody cares about them, they got to be in this state and they can't get out. Their state, if they move, they're going to kill them and they're going to kill their families or whatever it is that they tell them. And we hear about it in the news all the time. And so they've been programmed and brainwashed into believing that they're less than, and they have to stay in that situation. And especially if they get them hooked into the whole state of prostitution and drug addiction, everything like that, because they got to keep them under the influence of drugs to be able to manipulate them into doing what they want them to do. So there's a whole cycle and web of activities there that has just warped them into believing that all they're ever going to be is a prostitute or a drug addict or whatever it is they make them do. And so when we get them, you have to almost like reprogram their entire mindset and everything into seeing themselves as God sees them. And very few people can come out of these things and by themselves almost like will themselves to do better. Very few people have that kind of mindset, that self-motivation, that understanding of who they are. For most people, when that happens to them, they just break down and they're just done. And you see them in the news, they're criminals, and you wonder how they got there. It's because of that programming that happened before in a lot of cases, and they can't get out of it. Because I'm in the psychologist, I understand a lot of that. But a lot of people don't know how to get out of that. And if it's not for Jesus or some people like us telling them, no, you are better than this, and God, this is what God has for you, they will never get out. So that's why you have to be the voice of people that sometimes don't have the will to do that. I mean, they've been broken down so much. I can't even fathom how you could do that, because they actually start some kids as early as 5 years old. They're being sold in countries like India and all these Middle Eastern countries. That sold into prostitution. I just can't understand how a parent can do that to a child and actually tell them that's what you have to do. And a lot of them, that's being done to them. And we don't understand that because that's not our mindset. We can't even fathom that. But a lot of these kids, that's what happens to them. So if you've been programmed like that since you're 5, oh my goodness, by the time you hit 30, you're done. You're just a basket case of crazy and you don't even care. You've just been numbed into that lifestyle. So when we come in now with God and his wisdom and his knowledge and understanding and compassion, and we can pray them out of it, and we can give them the tools to live the better life and to change their thinking, to change their mindset. Oh, what a change that is for these people. So that's something, it's a work that has to be done. And a lot of times, if you're like me, you see them in the news and you get all mad and you're like, you know, why you got to be like this? And sometimes it's necessary and it's warranted. But then once you start talking to them and you start understanding where they come from, now you're like, well, wait a minute now. If somebody doesn't reach out to help them get out of this is like a life sentence for them. And they're going to be like this. So we now in society that have to deal with the backlash of it, it behooves us for us to try to help them be what God has called them to be, better than they even understand they are. because the thoughts of God about us are higher than our thoughts. The Bible says we can't even understand God's thoughts, they're so high up. And so it takes us now to, once we understand who we are, now we have to have others understand who they are so they can live their life. So we are going to luxuriate in this little island, and it's just a couple of days, I think, and we do the couple. If you check on the website, you're going to see all the details and the pricing and everything. So you could, and I've seen some pricing, and this is decent. This is good, okay? And it's just a luxury. Again, the pricing we have on it does not include your airfare and your hotel. We left that up to you because some people like different situations. Some people like high end, some people like low end, some people like mid. We want to make sure you can do that for yourself in whatever way you can. So we just doing everything that the cost and the price covers everything within the scope of the sessions that we're having, the meals that we're providing, and the different travel situation that has to happen there. Okay, so don't forget to go there, and get your friends, get your entrepreneurial friends. It's founders. The founders editions are we looking for like entrepreneurs, founders, artists, people who are doing stuff and who have a little bit of coinage, and they say, I want to do something with my coinage and help some people. That is a good way to do a little something with your coinage. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be beneficial. And if you have the willpower like I do, we're going to make sure that thing goes to help somebody. I refuse to leave thinking, like I hear a lot of people talk about those different things. I'm like, that's not going to be us, because this is very necessary. This is very, very, very necessary. And I didn't know it was that very necessary till I started listen to the news and hearing the hot mess. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what is going on in our world? Okay, so if you could partner with us to get this done, and you'll be able to enjoy yourself and enjoy your little country and all that good stuff that comes with it. Okay, and we're having a lot of different things planned, and we are anticipating a great time in with God and with everybody that joins us there. Okay, all right. Now today, and if you look at, don't forget to check out our blog every Friday mornings at 8 a.m. And it's turning out to be a decent situation. It's really nice, the little addition that we made to it. So please check it out every Friday. If you don't see it, just wait for it. We just missed the deadline. Sometimes I forget. Have been forgetting lately, though, so thank God. Okay. Topic today is, I always have to watch it again because it's a longer topic. Let me get it. Okay. What title are you already earning but not claiming? And if you're like a lot of us, if you're in the job space, in the workspace, sometimes you go in for one title, one job description, whatever. And then while you're there, probably somebody leaves or they're short of something and they ask you to help with something. And you end up sometimes doing multiple roles, even if you're not getting really paid for it because of your main role, but you end up doing multiple things. Or even sometimes you're in the space of the content creators and you're doing different things, giving advice, and you're earning something for it, but you don't necessarily call yourself that. You're not saying I'm this and I'm that. You're just doing it just on the whim, but you just end up doing it, but not really saying that's what it is, that's what the occupation is, or that's what you're doing. So what title are you already earning but not claiming? And this is really, really interesting. And if you go on the blog, we have it written. We have the written version with all the information, as well as the you listen to the audio, the podcast, so you can listen to that. And I thought it was so interesting because a lot of times we're doing a lot of things. We have, especially as ladies, we're wearing different hats. We're doing different things, but we don't really want to call it anything. Don't want to give it the title. We're just, doing what we got to do because we got to do what we got to do. And so that was really interesting. So I was really, when I looked at it, when I watched and we put it together, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot going on there. And do your research or whatever. Some of the different titles that we had on there that you're looking to, and some people do, but they don't really call themselves anything. The first one they had was a leader. You guide teams, you make decisions, and you take responsibility, even when you don't have the formal label. Claim it by speaking up, setting direction, and mentoring others. So you're guiding people, you're guiding teams, whether it be in your church or in your youth group or whatever it is, you're guiding teams to making decisions, but you're not calling yourself a leader because you're just doing what you got to do. The one way to claim that is by speaking up, setting direction, and mentoring others. The next one they had was expert. And a lot of times, if you're like us, and a lot of people have, what do you call that? I forgot the name, how they call it. They don't want to see themselves, they don't really see themselves as an expert because they feel, well, that's a higher thing than they could even attain. And here's one thing that we have. You solve problems, you share insights, and make complex things simple. If you're doing that, you're an expert in whatever area that is. Claim it by documenting your knowledge, presenting ideas, and accepting invitations to advise. And sometimes that could, you could, when people ask you to do it, you'd be like, well, what in the world? I don't do that. And then when you think about what you're doing, you're like, wait a minute, I am doing that. And so that's why a self analysis and self evaluation is really good, because sometimes you could add those things to your resume when your job description, or if you're doing people ask you to have to speak, special speaking engagements, whatever. Sometimes you don't see yourself as doing these different things, or you don't see yourself in that role. But when you think about what you're doing, you're in that role, whether you know it or not. Next, the strategist. You connect daily work to long term goals and spot patterns that others miss. Is that your case? Claim it by proposing plans, prioritizing impact, and asking what's next? What's next? What can I work on next? Okay, just saying. Innovator, you test new approaches and improve workflows. Innovator, you test new approaches and improve workflows. Claim it by naming experiments, tracking outcomes, and pitching scaled solutions. But if you claim it, write down those things, because sometimes people will come to you about things and people may see that in you, even if you don't see it in yourself. And they're asking you, like, no, I don't. But when you look at your track record, when you see everything you're writing down, you realize, wait a minute, I've been doing this and I didn't even know. Okay, take the time to track yourself. I like that. Okay. Connector, you bring people, resources, and opportunities together. Do you bring people, resources, and opportunities together? And a lot of times we don't even notice that we're doing it. But there's some people I know, like I've been around people like that, and they just have the knack. I mean, they bring, oh, I know this person, they're good for this. If you get them, they can come and do this for you, whatever. And they just do it because it's second nature to them. They love it, and it's just something that's in them. And they don't even realize they're doing it until somebody points it out. And there are a lot of people that we meet in our lives like that. Claim it by facilitating introductions, curating networks, and creating forums for collaboration. That's the way you could use that. I guess it's a gifting to do good. Next, the advocate. You defend ideas, people, and standards. We have a lot of those. Claim it by speaking for what matters, setting boundaries, and negotiating for resources. Negotiator. Okay. And then the last one, builder. You create systems, products, or cultures that last. Oh, my. Okay. Claim it by documenting processes, delegating ownership, and measuring outcomes. Document processes, delegate ownership, and measure outcomes. Oh, that's good. That's good. So you could, so all these are different things you could do. And if you notice that in your life, and you could go to the website, go to our Fava Conversation page, and go to even on the home page, there's something that says this week. You click on that, and you'll see the whole thing written down if you need to look at it further. But these are things people do, and some people don't even recognize they're doing it, because it just comes like second nature to you. And that could be a gifting that God has put on you, and you don't even recognize it. So now you can have a way of zoning in on it and checking what's going on with you. So now you can develop that in yourself and get better at it, or help people, the right people. Quick ways to start claiming it today. Add it to your internal bio or email signature and observe how you act differently. So if you have an email signature, you put it in there. I'm a builder, or I'm an innovator, I'm a leader, or something like that. You put it in there somewhere in a tactful way, not just I'm a leader. You put it in the way, strategic leader or whatever it is, and add it to your bio or your email signature. So when people click on it, they could see what it is that you actually do. Ask for one responsibility that aligns with the title. And that could be on your job, at a group, something with your friends, at your church, whatever. Ask for responsibilities that aligns with that. Next, teach or present one idea that only someone with that title would teach. Teach or present one idea that only someone with that title would teach. And then finally, request feedback focused on that role's strengths and gaps. Request feedback, whether it be from your friend, whether it be from your clients, whether it be from people you know, your church, whatever, friends of him. Request feedback focused on that role's strengths and gaps. Ask them, how am I doing? How did I do with that approach I created? Did you feel that I connected you well to whatever it is or whoever it is? Just ask those questions and see what people tell you. And it could be good, even if it's a little not too good, it still helps because then you can work on that and see how you can get better in that area. Feedback is always good. Okay, why claim it? Claiming a title changes how others see you and how you see yourself. Oh, that's good right there. Claiming a title changes how others see you, but most importantly, how you see yourself. It unlocks more opportunity, authority, and the resources to do higher impact work. You've already been earning it. Owning it accelerates both your influence and the value you deliver. So now that you own it, you now see the value you deliver and you see the influence you can have, and it can accelerate it and let it go even faster because now you understand what's going on and now you're focused in that area. Which title resonates most? Pick one and I'll give a 30-day action plan to own it. Okay, so that's what enter in your comment section, or if you want to send us a note, pick one of the titles that resonates with you, and then let us know, and we can give you a 30-day action plan to own it. Okay, so do that. That's a little homework for you, and we've never really done it on here, but see if we could do that. And we also do. Don't forget to check out our Fava Consulting and Investment page. That's where we do consultants. You could schedule an appointment with us, and we could talk with you and on all these different areas and other areas as well, but even on that area, so we could zone in and get you on track to doing what God has called you to do and what you're gifted with that you didn't even recognize. Look at that. Additional. Okay. So that was it for this week. And I hope that's why I said on the blogs, there are important things that can help you and that can help boost your confidence in who you are and your influence, we have, everybody's talking about influencers now, but you are needed as well. Your influence, especially if it's good, is needed. But if you don't know what you're doing and what you're actually good at, what people see in you, you may not focus on that. And so people are missing that impact from you. So don't forget to do that and check on yourself. Do the action plans. Get yourself in line so you can be everything God has called to be. And add one more thing, even if it's just to your resume, you're doing something good because now you realize something in you. You're focused on an area in you that you didn't even know you had. And now people are waiting for that impact. Oh my goodness. The scripture we had that was focusing in that area today was Isaiah 48:17. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. It is God that will teach you how to profit. We're learning, and I like when people listen to all that and read the books about the business strategies and how working on yourself to get everything done well so you can increase your profit and increase your influence and all that good stuff. But when you understand that it's God that teaches you to make profit, you will go to God a little bit more because he gives us the wisdom. He gives us the insight. He gives man the insight and the fortitude to be able to know what to do and what to tell you, because it's he that gives us the mindset and everything to profit in every area of our lives. And we understand that we'll seek him more and we'll seek his word more for all the different strategies we'll need to have good success. He teacheth us to profit, and he leads us by the way that we should go. He leads us by the way that we should, even in business. I was just watching, and I like watching the documentaries on Netflix or whatever, especially the business stuff. And even this was about, a fraudulent situation that happened in a few years ago. I think it was huge, and it was in a European country. And I mean, when they were showing the guy, they interviewed him and he was saying how he did what he did and why he did it. And it's always about greed and that kind of greed and money and just scandalous mess. And I'm like, look at this. This man has such a good business sense. I mean, just things I would never think of. But because he was so good at it, he was able to use it and manipulate people. And I was like, look at this. God has given you a mindset for profiting and doing good. And you are taking it and doing such bad. I mean, he did it was so bad. He had to be on the run for how many years? from the police because they caught him. And I mean, he went to jail and still did stuff to go back to jail. I'm like, wait a minute now. But they're so brilliant, and the devil will corrupt that and make them use it to that would bring harm to others, and in the end, harm to themselves. They don't even know it. They just care about the money. That's what the Bible said: the love of money is the root of all evil. In our getting, we should not love it. It's a tool. We love God. We love God. We love people. We use money as a tool to bless ourselves, our families, and others, and to bring glory to God and advance His kingdom in the earth. That's why I said, when you know the value, when you know why you have what you have and what to do with it, you won't misrepresent it. You won't misuse it to bring harm to others and eventually to yourself, because you're going to go to jail. And some people get killed for it because they mess with the wrong gang or whatever and take their money, and then the gang comes back and kills. It's just a whole mess. But when we don't use what God has given us to bring profit, especially to the kingdom of God, that's what you end up with. And brilliant mind. I mean, he thought about something I'll never think about, and how they were able to do all that. But it's like, why not use that for good? Because right now he could probably be in the billionaire list if he did it the right way. But when you do things in a bad way, the devil never lets you see what's the harm that's going to come to you in the end. He just makes you think, I'm going to get away with it. You know what I mean? Not understand that God sees all and He knows all. And you get away with it for 1, 2, 3 until finally the last day comes and God has to deal with you and you meet with the judgment that you deserve. Always understand God. He wants us to profit. If we seek His advice, read His word, get His instruction on things, we will profit in a good way, and we will not have to be in jail. Sometimes have to end up in the death row or something because of the crazy we're doing, not understanding why God gives us the giftings He gives us, why He gave us the brilliant mind, why He gave us a strong body, why He gave us this. It's not for us to do crazy, but it's for us to bring glory to God in the earth. Okay? Oh my God, I thought it was really good. And I think if we keep a focus on the right thing, not the wrong thing, but the right thing, we always come out on top. But we have to understand why we have what we have, why God blesses us, why He gives us the skills and the talents He gives us, so we can operate with integrity and skillful hands. Ooh, Jesus. And with that, we go to our stewarded segment. That's why we call it stewarded. Because God has given us the money. Now we have to steward it well. We have to navigate it well. We have to channel it into the right things so that we bring glory to God. And then we have generational wealth for our family for years and years to come. Okay, now this week was another week, of course. Same old, same old. Dealing with the war, dealing with all these different things. But God is still helping. God is still blessing even this country. And I thank God for it every day because we're praying. Okay. We are praying. Hold on. We are praying. Let me see if hold on 1 second. Why is this not showing? Hold on. Okay. Let's see if we can get a share here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Weeble. If you check everything, it was an up and down, but towards Friday there was a good little uppage, and I was very thankful for that. Because I'm like, when you see the down, it just makes you go to sit down and rest. You're like, oh my God! But we had a little uppage, which was good. Netflix had a little uppage, even if it's still in the 70s, and I don't know what is going on. Hopefully it picks up soon, but in its heyday, I remember when not too long ago either, probably like just before COVID. Netflix was in the 500s. They were. And I don't know what happened. And then even, remember, they were even in the 1500s and they had that stock split. And after that stock split, it just went down from there. I was like, oh my God. So I don't know. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of issues going on too with their content and the content, whether it's family friendly, that kind of stuff. So there's some things there, but I don't know. But anyway, we had a little uppage and hopefully it keeps going. Eli Lilly went down a bit, but it's still in the thousands. So it's decent. And it's going to be here for a while because they do a lot of our pharmaceuticals that we see right now. So they're there. MU is the Micron Technology, and they handle the SIM cards, I think, creation of those things. 877.57 dropped a bit, but still high. SanDisk is another one that handles those memories. There's something with, I have to remember the wording of that thing. But yeah, so it's down a bit, but 1,212. And they work also with the AI. So they're very necessary for the times they're in right now. So we know that they're there for to stay at least. Yeah. SpaceX is another one. It went down a bit. Remember, it just came out, but it went back up. So I was really happy because it gone down to like 108 or something. I was like, you need to come back up. So it came back up. I think it opened at 135. So it's coming close to where it opened. So hopefully it can keep climbing because the height I think was at two something. So I think it's doing decent. AGNC went back up a bit, the tens. That's usually where it is, between tens and 12s. So it's right there. A strong REIT, that you need to have it. Good dividends, so you need to have that. Good is the same thing. It's another strong REIT, and they're monthlies. Every month you get paid to them. So that's definitely need to have those for your dividend portfolio. RDT is a weekly, and that went up a bit. Very decent. Chevron, now that Chevron and Exxon are oil stock companies, energy oil, that situation. And they're down a bit because I saw where a barrel was down to like 77 something a barrel. Let me see if I can get that thing. It was 77. Hold on one second, y'all. I think it was 77 on one and 80 something on the other. There are two. Hold on. Where did I see that? I have all these different reports that come in. Ay. Was it up here? Energy. Okay, yeah, crude oil. Brent crude rose 1.2% Friday to 83.55. But then there was another one that was at 77 something, I think I saw. Where did I see it? It rose a bit, but it's still at 83, which is decent. So it's not too high. And that's like, I saw another one, guys. But I don't want to waste too much time on this. Because there are two of them. There's a Brent, and then there's another something. But anyway, but you see, it's still lower than the 90s, and that's a good place for it to be. And that keeps our gas prices lower. So we want that. we want that. Okay. TSYY, that's another one of our weeklies, and that's at 20. It went down a bit. I think it was at 21 after the split. They had a reverse split, I think. And it was at 21, but it's 2033. And every week we get paid to this. So you want to have one of those at least on your thing. It's doing decent. Silver. Now silver is 57, went up a bit, but that's the one I'm waiting to go back up because at one point it was like 100 and something, even I think probably 200 and something per share, but I don't know what happened, and it's at 57, but still decent. So, and you want to have, those are precious metals, so even if they go down now, just look at it as a sale because they're not going anywhere, right? Like oil, gold, silver, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you want to check those out, have them on your watch list, and see what you could do with those. XOM is another one of the oil situation like Exxon, same thing. Meta went up a bit, 592, was down a little bit, but it went back up. SDHD is an ETF for Schwab, and it's very strong, long lasting, been there for a minute, not going anywhere. Very good dividends, okay? $33.90 per share, so that's decent. That's about the price it's normally at. GNL, went back up to the nines. Thank God it had gone down to the eights. That's another REIT that gives every month. Is it every month or every 3 months? 3 months, I think. I think it's quarter for GNL. And 923. Very good per share. Okay. QQQ. That's another ETF. Very strong. 723.03. SPY is another ETF. Very good. They're in the sevens, and I like that. That means they're going up. VU in the sevens, going up. NVIDIA, now that's where I really get happy. When I see NVIDIA over 200, I'm really happy. And it's at 223.96, so that's a good place to be at. So it did very good. So if you have those shares, very good. GNMA, 43.61. And YEF is at 907. That's one of our other weeklies. So you want to have that as well, 907. And it goes up. So every time you see it, you get every week, you're getting paid. Okay? All right. So that's good right here. And let's now go to our NASDAQ and see what we get over there. That's where you have all the information. And of course, I always tell you, if you can't find all your information on Webull, because Webull, go to NASDAQ because that's where you have that's a whole stock market platform. So you want to be on there. You get all the things at least that you can verify and make sure that the information you're getting from any of the other um, uh, like Webull and Fidelity and everything, make sure you can verify on NASDAQ. Because some people like that. I mean, we just want to know what we want to know. We want to make sure it's ever tried and true, and it's not more tried and true than that. So, okay, okay, okay. NASDAQ. Can you measure the value in EO? AI is reshaping the way software companies and their investors define value. Okay, can't do that today, but that's probably a good thing. If you look right here, that's probably something you should check on later. We may do that, but let me see. I have time. You don't want to spend too much time there. But that's something you could look at, how AI is reshaping the way software companies and their investors define value. That's something I'm going to look at. I just don't have the time right now. Okay. Let me see. Okay, the Europe is up a bit. America is up a bit. Very good. Okay, most active by dollar volume. Okay. MU is down a bit. SpaceX is up. Plus 15%. SPY is up. NVIDIA is up. Thank God. QQQ is up. SanDisk is down a little bit. But again, it's a strong, very strong stock. Microsoft is up a bit. AMD is down a bit. Palantir, 10.31. And Tesla is up a bit. Like that. Tesla is another one that's tried and true, sitting right there. Sometimes it takes a little dip here and there, but it comes right back up. So some of these you want to have at least one or two of these stocks, especially QQQ and SPY and VU, those ETFs. That's something that can help give you a good balance during the up and downs that we're having lately. So just make sure if you don't have them yet, you're researching at least one of them to see what they can do for your portfolio. Retail trading activity tracker, SpaceX, activity up 4.18%, buy plus one. Everything else is down a bit. So, okay, so that's what we're seeing right there. NVIDIA, even NVIDIA, SanDisk, and Palantir. And a lot of tech stocks, right? The tech stocks are having the situation. Now, one thing I saw, and I usually it comes through TikTok everywhere. They have different things on investment because the algorithm. If you're into it, they're going to pick up something on it. And they were talking something they were saying in the news. The president was in the news. They're going into mining. I think they're looking at metals that are used in magnetization. I think a lot of magnetization is magnets are needed for the AI and the data centers or whatever. That's something that's very necessary. And apparently a lot of that was being done in other countries like China, whatever. But right now, I just heard something where the president said they're opening up the mines again. And they've opened a couple and they're working on others. And it's to get the rare earth metals. They're metals that they use for magnetization. And that's very important in the creation of all the stuff they need for the data centers and AI and all that good stuff. So they're redoing that again. So that's a stock they're saying that we need to look into companies that do mining and are involved in the creation of the magnetization metals or whatever. And one of the companies I found was USAR. I think they mentioned it too. And so I'm doing my research into companies like that on in the stock market because their values, I think they mentioned that one, USAR, their stock price is going to shoot up because now they're becoming very necessary. So you need to put that as on your radar, USAR and other companies that are mining or creating magnets or whatever that are needed for AI or data centers and all that. So do your research into that, find companies and start looking into them and seeing if their prices are going up and if you should invest in them because they mentioned that as something that may be coming up in the future in the stock market. And they stressed on it because you see a lot of people give advice or whatever and you're like, but I don't shoot down everybody. I just put it on my watch list and see what's going on and look at the news and do my research and then decide accordingly. So I'm going to tell you the same thing because I'm very skeptical of a lot of things sometimes. So I have to sit there and I have to see to that. And I saw USA Rare Earth completes merger with Texas Mineral Resources. USA Rare Earth, can government backing justify the valuation before revenue materializes? So that's what's going on right now. So that's something we should keep our ears and eyes open for because I think, and one more they were saying, people, the companies that do the data centers and the AI rely on China a lot for those magnets or whatever. And so we are opening up our mind here to create it so we won't be dependent that much. And so we need to look into that. So USCR is one of them I've found. I'm just going to keep on doing my research. You do yours too and see if there are others that you find and let us know, on the platform, let us know, because that's something that could bring increase for everybody. Right now we're in the AI space and everything surrounding that AI space. You should be researching, not just AI companies like the Nvidias and whatever, but the companies that make products that AI needs to function. And that's where you get the SanDisk, the MU, all these different companies make where they make the little the what do they call them? I forgot the name they call it. Conductors and different things like that they need to produce all these different things. All these, the companies that produce them, they should be getting a little spike as well. They're going to be getting an increase because now they're becoming very necessary and they have to buy those things in abundance, so that the AI could blossom and be accessible to people, functional. So keep your eye for those things and listen to the news for different, what they're saying, because a lot is going on in the news and people pointed out in the social media and everything, but we could also listen as well. And that could point us as to what are the next stocks or the ETFs that we should be getting into that could give a boost to our portfolio. Okay. So I thought I would say that because that when I hear those things, they kind of make me go, oh, my ears perk up a bit. And you have to be like, okay, let me just at least research. I don't like to just jump into things. I have to research, see what they're saying, see if it makes sense, and see if it's going to do good for our portfolio and what we're doing. Because we're raising what? Generational wealth. Oh my goodness. Okay. Don't forget to look out for those ETFs. Because you see that 15th has come about in the middle of the month. Apple has some dividends. I say ETFs? Dividends. Sorry, guys. Dividends. Well, ETFs have dividends too, like Schwab, very good with the dividends. So look for when they're having their dividends as well. Because I think they're in a monthly. I'm not sure yet. Okay. Apple is coming out on Monday. And they have dividends as well as they're very good. Cartier. All right now. I never thought about that. Cartier has, what they have? 10 cents per share. Oh, nice. On the 10th is the pay date. No, 24th is the pay date. 8/10 is the ex-dividend date. Okay. All right. Didn't expect to see that one. Okay, Tuesday the 11th. And that's our financial cheesecake factory. Okay. 30 cents a share. PC Connection, Kingstone, Strive. That's one of the companies we use for payment companies for websites or whatever. 8/11, and they're like 5 cents a share, decent. On the 12th, let me just go through and see what we see. And this is just the first page. They have like this one has, yeah. Some of them have multiple pages. So I'm just doing the front. I don't have time to do everything. Okay. On the 13th. Okay, so and then Friday, DRS Leonardo, DRS. Pool, SATA. Smithfield Foods, okay. 31 cents a share. Pay date 8/27, ex-dividend date 8/13. And then Friday is the last day, of course. Friday is the last day because Saturday is not a business day. AGNT, that's a T, not a C, 5 cents. Okay, I've never had that one. BRKRP, Brooker. Bassett Furniture. Okay, 20 cents. Okay, so that's what we have for this week. So look at those and just learn and see what you can, yeah. And again, if there's stocks that you don't have, look at it anyway, because yeah, the ones that we've seen a couple of them are $1 something, even 2 something. But look at this one right here. Bruker Corporation, $3.98 a share. That's a decent dividend. So just again, don't just go jump and buy because people are just like, some people are like that. I'm like, put it on your watch list and watch and see what's going on. We don't gamble over here. We just work, and we have to work with information and make sure we have a steady situation. I mean, it may fluctuate, but at least it's a good company. I heard that from Mr. What's his name? Buffett himself. Don't just because you see a good price or whatever. Look and check the company. Make sure they're good, long-lasting companies. They're tried and true. Their dividends are tried and true. People, yeah, you want to check for that because nowadays, yeah, after I saw that man stuff, I was like, what in the world? I mean, he did a whole thing in the company. I mean, we're not going into all that. I said, people, you just have to pray because there's all kinds of people out there. But anyway, so do your due diligence, just like you do for real estate. Of course, I hope you're still looking to your real estate because you can still get some deals out there, especially those what you call that, tax sales. Okay, so do your due diligence and check everything out to make sure your investment is sound. Okay. Okay, I think that's where we are today. We have a little bit of time. We have to stop now because you have to, yeah. But we are so thankful that you joined us today. I always take a time to sit, and that's what stewarding is. Stewarding, and that's what you do for anything you have. Your money, your land, your family, your organization, your company. You're doing your due diligence to make sure that you're a good steward of it and you're bringing profit. And that's what it's all about, bringing profit. And it's nowadays we have a lot of help with our AI and all that, but we've got to make sure we watch over what God has given us so we don't lose it. And it's very, very important with the climate we have right now. Things are up in the air. People are starting wars and rumors of wars and all kinds of stuff. But we're praying and we're doing our due diligence and we're stewarding and we're luxuriating and we're liberating. Oh my goodness. There you go. What a good combination. I want to thank you for being with us again. We have an action plan. Let me just see if we can do that today. Number one, what is your calling? What is your calling? That's your gifting, what God's called you to do, what comes natural to you, all that good. What is that? What do you do? What is it you do every day? Even things that you don't think are gifting, you just do it. And then finally, who are you impacting? Who are you impacting? Oh my goodness. Awesome day. I enjoyed this. I hope you did too. I hope it answered some of your questions. It gave you a little boost to do what God wants you to do. And you're living your life like it's golden because that's what God said for us to do. We thank you for being with us. We know that great things are in store for you because you're here and we're taking the time to do our diligence and to steward everything God has given us because we're doing not just for ourselves, but for the next generation as well. So don't forget to do your time. Check our website, see what's going on. Check out FF26. It's September 10th, 12th, and 13th. And let's work together to get done what God wants to get done because it is very important. It's very essential for the time that we live in right now. Okay, like normal, well, not normal. Lately, we've been given the song that we have for one of our for this month for the series in August, and the last one we did this week was "Poor Shall I Promise," and I really like the song because it's talking about again a boost from the one last week we had of owning your table. It's also owning your table, building the door and opening it and walking through it. Sometimes we're waiting for people to open doors for us. Let me tell you something, the time to live in, you're going to have to build that thing for yourself sometimes. You're going to build that thing and have God show you how to build it. So when you get it, it's not just for you. Always remember that. It's not just for you. It's for you and the people. You're opening doors for other people as well. So while God is showing you how to build something that can help you and your family, it's also going to open doors, employment doors, whatever, for other people that you don't even know of yet. You're just building like Noah did. Okay? Because God told him to. Okay, until we see you next time, remember to have Fava conversations and own your own table. Bye-bye.
I swept the boards at dawn with a cup gone cold, nailed up a sign by hand on a door I sold. I stacked the oranges high in a crate by the step, wrote my own name twice so the morning wouldn't forget. No one came to hand me keys, no one showed me where to stand. I made a little room for luck with a hammer in my hand. I built the door, then I opened it. I built the door so I could walk in it. A little light on my old front porch. I built the door, then I opened it. I kept the spare nails jarred by the sink on the right. Fixed the loose front hinge under summer flies. The neighbor called me out, said, "Who taught you this?" I said, "The want in my chest and the work in my wrists." No velvet fall from the sky, no waiting on a sign. I laid the boards one by one till the empty room was mine. I built the door, then I opened it. I built the door so I could walk in it. A little light on my own front porch. I built the door, then I opened it.